We're here at the rehearsal dinner. We're having a lot of fun. Desserts being served, and we're gonna have some speeches in a little bit and watch a video. We're having a lot of fun.
And then afterwards, anybody that would like to come up and toast, roast, or will wish is more than welcome to come up. Okay, so anyways, you gotta bear with me for a minute. David and I are proud of the man that Hunter's become. His activities, accomplishments, and faith have well-rounded his strong character, confidence, and courage. Hunter has surrounded himself with good men. Y'all know who you are. Who have boosted his walk with the Lord. Hunter's freshman year at Texas Tech, he pledged the Delta fraternity. And they were building their first float. And Hunter texted me and he said, "Dad, thanks for teaching me how to use tools, because most of these guys don't." Hunter made...
Thank you for that.
I'm the teacher. Hunter made good grades. Preston, his roommate, right over here, one of them, is the son of my Texas Tech roommate, Jeff Badgett, over here. How wild is that? All right, the two competed for top grades in the Delta fraternity. The Delta split $5,000 over anybody that made over a 3.5. And these guys alternated 4 points about 3 or 4 semesters in a row. Hunter was a hard worker from an early age. He earned the rank of Eagle Scout by the time he was 15. Might have had something to do with Dad buying a truck or me matching half his money. Hunter was selected as a crew leader by 10 of his peers to lead a 75-mile, 8-day trek in Philmont's scout camp. And that was a feat. Not many 15-year-olds can pack 55 pounds for 8 days. He juggled 2 jobs at age 15 because nobody would give him a full 40 hours. This kid likes to make money. He worked every summer thereafter. Okay, he worked in marketing for Snapple for Mr. Owen. He worked in 2 different manufacturing plants. He worked oil field fracking crews. This kid knows how to work and how to save. Hunter also has a kind heart, and that's much of the credit to his mom. Because I'm a little more fashioned, like my dad said. He didn't raise sheep. And y'all know what the opposite of that is, right? I didn't raise sheep. All right. Hunter, like me, is a bit rambunctious. Has a hard head and a great strength. And several times at a young age, he required stitches to his head. All right. One time, Miles knocked him out of the Jeep. Another time, Hunter decided to dive from the toilet into the bathtub. Anyways, now, when I found out about his strength, when you go down to the clinic or to the hospital, they actually got straps. So he had straps to the table one time because, you know, during the stitches. And another time I went to the quack shop because I was kind of familiar with them, and she rolled them up like a tortilla in a sheet. And I had to lay across him And I was amazed at age 6 how hard a 6-year-old was to hold down. Anyways, that guy's got a lot of strength. Okay, this is a little bit longer one, but it's funny. Okay, Cub Scout funny. After scary campfire stories of snipes on a Cub Scout camp out, the snipes would come in, any boy that's got his head hanging out of the sleeping bag, he's gonna get his eyes pecked out by the snipes. Okay, so me and another dad asked Hunter and one of his friends, that will probably be here tomorrow, anyways, JP, probably, if they wanted to go snipe hunt. Y'all might have heard about that. Anyway, so and Hunter and JP say, we're up for the game. Let's go. So we got a big heavy-duty bag and a flashlight. And we said, okay, no flashlights. We're walking through the dark woods. So we're walking through there. And then we said, we got to the edge of the clearing. And we set them up and said, okay, Hunter, you hold the bag to the ground and hold it up like that. JP, you got the flashlight. For the last minute, when the snipes come in, they didn't know what these things looked like. So we walked off, left them for about 5 minutes, walked across the field, and then we started coming. All right, we got them, we got them. We're herding them to you. We're herding them to you, Hunter, JP. Get ready, get ready. And anyways, about the time we got right up to them, and they were sitting there ready, holding their positions, we pulled out the camera, I took a picture. You never seen the biggest eyes in your life. But those boys, they held true. And they didn't get up and check. All right, Hunter, Miles, and cousins over here, Catherine and Victoria, spent many times on a lot of trips, but a lot of ski trips. A lot of ski trip pictures, trips up to Pagosa. They perfected the polar plunge of hot tubbing and then jumping out of the hot tub in 2 foot of snow and rolling it. That was a lot of fun. I think I had to do that too.
Pictures of you doing it. Hopefully not naked.
And later on, you get older, you go from no roll in the snow to take a beer down there when you go. All right, as a father, you want a son to be good, but in balance. You want them to challenge life a little. A bit of mischief builds character in a man. I should know. Hunter, the humor of Hunter, Justin, and Will streaking up at Lake Bridgeport. And then afterwards, Mr. Graver saying the neighbor caught it on his security camera. And they believed it. It was in the middle of the night. Nobody saw it. All right. And then Hunter. Oh, these things keep coming up. Hunter, Will, and Justin decided one day it would be real cool just to climb anybody's fence in Plano that had a pool and jump over the fence, jump in, and Justin's over here with the camera filming it all and handing it off when he's got to jump in. I think they had to explain that. One of those guys grabbed a hold of him. And it's paying off for Justin's work in Hollywood. All right, this is another one. This is another one. Most kids 15 to 25 years old are surprised at how much their parents had learned in 10 years. At age 22, Hunter's a senior in college, and he already had a job when he graduated. He sends a text home to Miles and I, and he says, "You know all that stuff that Dad's been telling us?" He goes, "Most of it's true." Arbuckles are hunters. If you know me or my boys, you know that. I never left a boy at home after the age of 4. And Dana was the envy of every other mom in the neighborhood. Because golfers only take their kids for a day. Only hunters take the kids after diapers for a whole weekend. Sitting in cold deer blinds, I packed an old purple Barney the dinosaur sleeping bag for Hunter to slide into if he got cold or sleepy on my lap. But he always said, I'm a staying up. He wanted to see that shot. All right. And then when Miles turned 4, and you're in a 4x4 blind, he can't hardly shoot. With a kid on each knee, you need one rifle arm. All right. So Hunter graduates to the what do they call it? The old high chair. And it was a leather back, and it was white, but it fit right in there in that corner. And he graduated that so I could put Miles on the other knee. And Preston, I think you said it a couple times too. Your dad sitting back there, Mr. Jeff Badgett.
Maybe Anthony too.
And maybe Anthony. Okay. All right, deer camp teachings. Okay, there's a lot that people won't understand if you're not a deer hunter. But deer camp, that's kind of special. Anyways, for Hunter, the teachings for Hunter, Blake, which is Mark's son, sitting over there, and Preston, sitting back over here, was aided by brother Matt Lohofer, who liked to bring these rubber snakes and hide them in their sleeping bags. And it really fit the part because every time we came down there were snake skins in our old shack that we hunted in. Anyways, if y'all hadn't figured it out, I got a few hunting buddies and herder brothers sitting back here. My dad came on most of the hunts, and anytime I was going hunting, I asked my dad how we're going. He said, okay, I'll have my bag. I got the groceries, all that. Anyways, I cherish this windshield time. Windshield time is when you sit in a car and you get to talk for 4 hours. You don't get windshield time going somewhere in the city for 30 minutes. You get it when you get in the car and you travel 4.5 hours out and 4.5 hours back. You learn a lot of things about your family history. You learn about Scottish family, history and things like that. And as you get a little older, you hear more and more stories from your dad. At age 9, Hunter started being the hunter, and I had to resign to being the guide up until about 2 years ago, and I'm hunting again. All right, with several people out here, there's been a little bit of skinny dipping in windmill ponds out where we hunt. And there's, when you're going hunting, you're not taking a bathing suit. Anyways, but about the time that boys hit about 12, they started bringing their bathing suits. I'm like, okay. Anyways, this is a wasted pair of clothing. If you looked up there, you might have seen some white buck cheeks. And by the way, Gloria did a good job on that video. There you go. Switching gears a little bit. Paige probably thinks she's off the hook over here. Anyways, Paige is a sharp, pleasant young lady. And Dan and I are so happy, and I coined this phrase from her, that Hunter found somebody to love him as much as we do. We spent several weekends in Houston, Plano, and the ranch getting to know her. Paige taught us how to eat crawfish without all that peeling. And she's dandy about it. But anyways, you don't need to do all that peeling if you eat with Paige one time. She'll teach you the secret. All right. And then Paige invited us on a surprise fishing trip for Hunter. And I had to convince her that, you know what, you might want to tell him the night before. Don't just wake him up. Because he's not going to have his knife, he's not going to have his camera. Anyways, I think she waited to the last minute. And if you're trying to win the Arbuckle, besides cooking, going hunting or going fishing is about the next best thing. This girl can fish. There you go. I knew Thomas taught you. All right, you're not off the hook yet. Paige came with Hunter on a turkey hunt. All right. She fit right in. She didn't go ee or anything like that. And after we were making the rounds by the deer feeder, you know, Hunter's in there and I'm handing him some bags and I'm doing some stuff. And then I'm in the feed pen and Paige says, she says, "Can I hand you that 50-pound bag of corn?" And I said, "I think not." She goes, "Why?" And I said, "Because that's more than half your body weight." And then Paige just turned around, grabbed that bag off the tailgate of my truck and just kind of pitched it to me over the fence. She's got some strength. All right. We hit the rides in Kemah in February. You know, we came down, learned to eat mud bugs, but crawfish is the right word. And we went down to Kemah, which is about an hour south of here on the coast. And we had a good time, hit the rides. And what's so strange is 5 months later, Hunter invites us back down there to ask this lady to marry him. 5 months later at the same place. But Hunter decides to get up on the stage and sing Brown-Eyed Girl with Paige and her parents and about 20, 30 others to watch. And that was his stupendous feat. Took more guts than me. Okay, one more on Hunter, and then I'm going to let some of y'all other come up. Last night, we got down here to the hotel, and Dana calls Hunter and says, "Hey, do you want to grab a quick bite to eat?" You want to tell this one?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
So I called Hunter thinking, okay, we just got in town and we need to eat dinner. And he said, no, he said, I'm good. He said, there's some things I want to do before I get married. I said, great. I said, well, what are you doing? I'm cleaning my gun right now. Cleaning that gun, so
That's funny, because I was cleaning my gun too.
It's all about priorities.
Who's next?
Hang on. So, Paige, I'm toasting you, honey.
Oh,
you get him now. Good luck.
I forgot. A toast to Hunter and Paige. You both chose well. Salute to the future Mr. and Mrs. Arbuckle. It's open to the next person that wants to talk or bring your ring in.
I was going to go ahead and start off by saying thank you, Hunter, for allowing me to stand by you on your special day, you and Paige. I'm very honored by that. And now to the roast a little bit. We all know brotherly love is a special kind of love. And Hunter and I have butted heads more times than I can count. And sometimes we can't keep track after one of us gets a concussion. But that doesn't mean we can't remember the good times. From out shooting all the other Boy Scouts, when we were at Elm Fork, when we were in middle school, and to building 6-foot-high snow forts in Colorado Springs with elaborate snow trenches. So that was a good time. And I guess you beat me to the finish line for tying the knot. But let's not forget who potty trained you. Hunter was coming when he was one of the few left that wasn't potty trained. And at only 6 months old, I knew my brother needed help. So my dad and I, mainly my dad, came with a plan to train him. So my dad executed his part in the toilet, number 2. And then placed me on the toilet, aka Arbuckle Potty Training 2.0. My dad went and got Hunter to show him, even his younger brother knows how to use the toilet. Hoping it would make him feel like a bigger baby than I was. And like my dad said earlier, he's always a teacher. Or he is a teacher.
2 days later, he was potty trained.
He was, yes, he was. Thank you for all those less diapers and less money they had to spend on that. But yeah, I just wanted to give you that little story, and I just want to say congrats to you and Paige for tying the knot, and tomorrow will be a special day for y'all.
Thank you, Mom.
Alright, so I am Preston. I roomed with Hunter in college. As Matt was saying, I've known him pretty much since I was born. And just being around Hunter that long, man, there's so many stories that I was trying to think of that I could say, because I have so many. But over and over again, I just kept thinking of one thing. For me, that's just been the story of Hunter's life. And when you know a guy for that long, and you're still that close of friends with someone, it just says a lot about that person. Why you want to keep them around you. The kind of impact they have on your life. And for me, when I think about the gospel, I think about Jesus entering someone's life, even when they want nothing to do with them, and completely transforming the way that they live. And this is something that I've actually witnessed in Hunter's life. And it's something that has had an impact on my own life, in the way that I have responded in my own walk with the Lord. And what makes me even more excited about that is we sit here and we talk about how great a guy that Hunter is. But the first time I met Paige, I knew that he had met an even better woman. A woman who loves the Lord, who's going to spur him on in his own walk. And I prayed about him to meet a woman who loves God for a long time. And when he's telling me he started dating Paige, I knew it happened. And a funny story, as Matt was talking about, Hunter called me one day and said, "Hey, my girlfriend took me on a fishing trip." And if you know our girlfriends, they love to hunt, they love to fish. And I was like, "Hunter, you're definitely going to marry this girl." She takes you fishing, she cooks, she does all this stuff. And I think it was after the turkey hunt that I was talking about, I get a call from Hunter and he goes, "You're right, I am going to marry this girl." So I just want to say thank y'all for enjoying just our company tonight and having us all here. And I can't wait to celebrate with y'all tomorrow.
You can go, Thomas. You can go. Okay. Hi, I'm Crystal. I'm Paige's matron of honor. I've known Paige since 2008 when I moved to Alexandria. We both attended high school together, and she really hasn't been able to get rid of me since. We both went to LSU, and somehow ended up being apartment complex neighbors here in Houston. And then about this time last year, I got married to the man of my dreams at the Pearl in Florida, and Paige helped me. And tomorrow, I have the honor of repaying her that favor. Whenever I first got to know Paige, I quickly found out that she's like a Charlotte. She always enjoys the finer things, classic romantic, and always fabulous. She always has a good set of pearls nearby and impeccable etiquette to match. Something else you'll quickly find out just talking to her, she adores her family. You'll always hear Wendy pop up, Madeline, Weston, her other mom, Penny. It's actually just her aunt. That was confusing for a while. But she always has a story about Thomas. And they they have a really, really great relationship. It's truly beautiful. Most girls just hope to have that type of father-daughter relationship. And whenever she would try to tell me what she wants in a guy, I knew it would always be this really tall order. And it ended up being this really long list. She'd tell me about this guy, and I'm like, oh, he sounds amazing, he sounds really great. And then she'd be like, nah. I'm like, wait, what happened to him? And she's like, oh, he likes big dogs. And then it's something so minuscule, and I'm like, for the right guy, I think that's okay. You can see past that. And she would tell me that her mom and dad are like, okay, I think you're getting a bit picky. And with Paige being such a family-oriented person, you would think that she would listen. And I was even saying that she was being a little picky sometimes. But what was happening is Hunter was hiding in plain sight, and she was listening to someone. It just wasn't us. She was listening to her heart and to God, and God perfectly revealed Hunter to her at the perfect time, because I'm sure y'all know that it didn't take long for them to decide, and Hunter, you are everything on that extremely long list. And everything that she's prayed for and more, she didn't even know that she needed to pray for. So I'm sure you know that song, I Can't Help But Fall in Love, or something like that by Elvis. Can't help but fall in love, you know.
I know it.
But they, yeah, sing it for me. So in the song they say only fools rush in.
Yes, that's the song.
But these two have certainly prayed for one another, and they have weighed out every outcome, the good, the bad, the ugly, and zealously have sought God to guide their relationship. And I think that no matter what happens, they know that all of us here tonight, everyone tomorrow, are going to support them and love them. And with God and everyone here, I know that nothing's going to happen. So for one last pearl wisdom, Bell Hooks says, the capacity to love is tied to being able to be awake. To being able to move out of yourself and be with someone else in a manner that is not only about your desire to possess them, but to be with them, to be in union and communion. So, cheers to Hunter and Paige.
Cheers, cheers.
My name's Neil. I have had the privilege of knowing Hunter for 2 years. The first year and a half, I actually lived with Hunter. My earliest memories of Hunter center around his discipline. I would come home from work, and I would see him in our little study area, and he'd just be diligently scribbling, on a piece of paper. And I saw this going on for a week or two straight, where he's always writing and scratching things off, and writing some more. And I said, Hunter, what's going on, man? What are you working on? A poem or something? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, no, man, I'm writing a rap song. And what Hunter was doing is he had actually been given the challenge of sharing his testimony of how he came to Christ, a little bit of his story, and he wanted to put it in, the most effective form, which is you want to communicate something, write a rap about it. But in all honesty, Hunter just shocked and amazed me. I kind of encountered Hunter at a time when he was coming into his faith in Christ and really kind of assuming the role that God wants him to have, and just stepping into a deeper part of his own personality and manhood. And his discipline in prayer, his discipline in studying the scriptures, was just absolutely astounded me in those first couple months. The second thing that struck me was Hunter's work ethic. Saturday mornings, I say, hey man, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, Saturday, maybe we can hang out. No man, I gotta work on my motorcycle. No man, I gotta work on this thing in the house. Like Hunter, we're renting, dude. You don't have to like fix it. I really want to do it. I really want to fix stuff up. He's just very project oriented, and I know that that's going to serve his family so well. That, as Mr. Matt pointed out, he's a hard worker. He wants to get stuff done. He enjoys being that powerhouse. And a particular way that he served me, probably 3 months into living with him, we had the Memorial Day floods here in Houston. And I have a small, Hunter and Jared, they're my roommates at the time. Well, of course I'm trucks, I'm not from Texas. Sorry guys, I got a little sedan, little Honda. And my Honda got flooded about 3 months in to living with Hunter. And we woke up maybe about 7 in the morning, it was pouring down rain, and I see Hunter, you know, kind of come in through the door with his shirt off, like, you want to come play in the rain? And I was like, well, yeah, dude, totally. And I was like, but I think my car's probably out there, like, underneath a bunch of water, actually. Maybe we can move that before you play in the rain. I was like, yeah, totally, dude. And so Hunter, 3 months into knowing him, is helping me, you know, shirtless, push my car into the ditch. And then after that, he jumped in an inner tube and like careened down Mulberry Lane. Of course, he was on a hill and just kind of rode the current. I think for those of you that are on Facebook, I think that was actually a profile picture.
Did you take that picture?
One of us did. One of us did. I don't know if it made it into the slideshow. It should have, because he's very speaks very much to his personality. Paige, when I first met you, it was right before Halloween, and you and Hunter were making pumpkins together outside of that house. And my first impression of you, Paige, was what kind, intentional, beautiful woman for Hunter to be pursuing. I just have consistently been impressed with your ability to hone in on people, hone in on their needs, get to know their story. You have an incredible intentional love for Hunter. I think the fishing trip that keeps getting brought up is just one example of you knowing Hunter's heart and wanting to speak directly to it in the way that you love it. I'm just so honored. I'm so honored to have both of you at my wedding several months ago, and I'm so honored to be here with you, praying for you as you step into this next journey together.
I'm Wendy's sister, Penny Ritchie, Paige's aunt. This is Noelle, one of my grandchildren. I just wanted to say real quick, one thing, Hunter, we were in Houston with Paige. Was it you, Boo-Too? Yeah, me and Melody. Me and Melody. Yeah, I get to say this. And Paige, and we were in the car, and Paige was talking about you, but she's supposed to meet you for coffee. But she didn't know she was going to meet you for coffee because she didn't think you were cooked yet, and she wasn't sure if everything was like. Well, I want you to know, your mother-in-law and your two aunts, we said, go to coffee. So needless to say, she did, and as many of people have said, in her long list, you have blessed it. So instead of talking about how wonderful you both are, you have come to know the Lord as an adult. May you always walk with Him. I know His face is going to shine upon you and bless you both. May He always be first, because a marriage without God first in y'all's lives, and Him as your priority, is a difficult thing. Fortunately or unfortunately, we'll be 33 years this year for Arthur. Walk with the Lord and love God first yourself. Paige, you can't love him the way he needs to be loved. You can't love her the way she needs to be loved. Because only God can put that in us, because she's a frugier. And frugier women are difficult, right? curse. No, it's not. No, it's a blessing. So anyway, my heart's desire for y'all is to walk with the Lord, to love Him with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. When the days are hard and bad, you roll over and wonder why you're still with this person, may you always know that in a few days or a few weeks, it'll get better. And it's worth it in the long run, but it's hard. But I know with God that you can do anything. So I'm glad she decided to go to coffee with you. I think you're very cooked. And I look forward to watching you grow and mature, watching you become the people God has created you to be, no longer as Hunter, Paige, but now as Warren. And then whatever He's going to gift you with, I know it'll be good. No matter if it's going through a valley, you climb a mountain. God is always in control, and He always has an answer for everything. And I'll tell you something else. Have fun. Have fun before you have these babies. Have fun after you have those babies. And then guess what? When they leave, have fun together. I love you both. I'm praying for you each and every day. And I know that there are great things to come according to God's will. Not according to the standard of the world, but according to God's will. So I love you both. Congratulations, and we look forward to having fun tomorrow, okay?
All right, it's my turn. I, of course, am Paige's mother, Wendy. I'm not an eloquent speaker, so I do have some notes here. I am more the emotional one. I'm also not an eloquent and good speaker because I was the youngest of 4 girls. My 3 older sisters, it was hard to get a word in it. I'm not used to speaking. I'll leave the funny stories to her dad and her sister because sisters have a bond and know all the stories that we don't know and aren't supposed to know. I want to thank all of y'all for traveling here this distance and through all the different weathers we had to be here to celebrate this special moment. There's so much I want to say. It's hard to sum it up, so I tried to write this down because I can talk forever. But tomorrow, Paige and Hunter will be one of the best and most unforgettable days of your life. I say one of the best because in life there are so many precious moments, such as the moment on October 13th when, in true Paige fashion, came on her scheduled due date. From that moment on, Paige, you brought so much love, joy, and laughter to my life and our family's life. You have faced the world with strength and determination in all you've done. As a my grandson right. As a mother, we are to teach and guide our children and be a light for them through the good and the difficult times. But I have to admit that there were many times when it was you, Paige, teaching and guiding and supporting me with your spunky personality and your wisdom that has always been far beyond your age. I can truly say that not only are you my daughter, you have been my friend. So many times they tell you children aren't supposed to be your friend, or you're not supposed to be your children's friend, but there are times when you can, and there are ways you can be your children's friend, and Paige, you have been my dearest friend. So Hunter, tomorrow Paige's father and I will hand over to you one of our most precious treasures. Over the last years of getting to know you and spending time with you, I'm very aware that you are a gift from God that was sent for my daughter and our family. It is clear to see the love, respect that you and Paige have for one another. I could truly not ask for a better young man to be my daughter's husband. And yes, she had a very long list. And you're not Santa with abs that I know of. That's what she said, that's what she wanted. Santa Claus, but she loves Christmas. As words of advice for navigating the life of marriage, I only have these things to say. Because yes, there will be difficult times. Love fiercely. Be compassionate. Be quick to forgive and slow to judge. Never take this love that you have for one another for granted. Protect it. Protect one another and your love and your relationship like it's the whole diamond. It's rare, it's precious, and it can never be replaced. I so faithful that God sent you. And that Daniel and Matt supported you and taught you the way that they did. And you needed to love God. And He sent you to our family and to my daughter. And I'm honored to say that you'll be the first son of mine. So cheers to both of you, and know that we will always be here to support both of you and all the good and the bad times. And we love y'all.
Thank you.
Sorry, he's really tired.
Papa T.
Papa T. Where's this camera?
That's right. For those of y'all who don't know me, I'm Madeline. I'm Paige's little sister, little in age, not height. Growing up with Paige was always really fun. Yes, we were about 5.5 years apart, but I honestly couldn't ask for someone better to grow up with, someone to lean on, count on, tell on. But the minute Paige told me about Hunter, I was just, swept with relief. About time. I'm not going to sit here and tell any crazy stories because my time will come one day, and I don't know if that's respectful. Well, I knew Hunter and Paige were meant for each other the minute I saw our itinerary for the engagement. I don't know how many of y'all were there or but a few years ago, my dad, and sister took a trip to New York, and we were emailed a new itinerary, I think, every day. We had to make changes, and I think it was hour by hour. It was color coded. Oh, and it was color coded, yes. It was color coded. Well, then we got the itinerary for the engagement. Like, every step you took was jotted down. No room for errors, you guys. Another thing that really struck me about Hunter was that, in our family, we do anything and everything for each other. And yes, we are Frugier women. Yes, we get extremely stressed out. And it was my little boy Weston's first birthday, and I thought that I could make cupcakes and make them look like fish. Because his thing was fishing. Well, I'm sitting there, I'm screaming at the icing. I am just a mess. I want to just throw these cupcakes away and cancel the party. And Hunter tried his best to cut up little dots and jellies and make the cutest little turtles and fish, and he really helped out a lot. And
no, but like you were completely yelling, and then we all looked to the corner, and there's Hunter just
making his turtle. Cutest turtle ever. I think that he was an uncle before he realized it. But before I end this, I want you guys to do something for me, and you can't do it on the table because not everyone can see. But Paige, put your hand right there. Hunter, put your hand over hers. Okay, everybody witness this. This is the last time you're gonna have the upper hand. Love you, Paige. Honey, yes, we call him Honey. We love you, and congratulations, and I'm just ready to get this started.
All right, I guess it's Dad's turn.
I just don't like to go.
So, first of all, I want to thank all of you that have gotten to know Paige, the Houston crowd, and you've gotten to know her and love her the way her mom and I know her and love her. It is a very heartfelt joy to have other people appreciate her the way that her mom and I appreciate her. So thank you for that. So a couple of stories about Paige, and I'm not going to go too far, too long, but just a few things that stuck out to me while I was listening to all this. When Paige was, I guess when we were in Kentucky, 6 or 7 years old, trying out for a softball team. Paige is very, oh yeah, so Paige is a very concrete thinker. She's very literal. Her sense, she has a great sense of humor, but she doesn't really appreciate sarcasm or vague inferences or anything. It's cut and dry. It's either funny or it's not. Okay? So Paige is trying out for the softball team. And we're going, it's the first time she's going. She's gung-ho. She's going to try out for the softball team. And we're going. She gets up there in the bat. She hits the ball. And she doesn't know what to do. So they're like, run, run. Go to first base. So man, she takes off running. She's running to first base. She did it all she got. She gets to first base. And they're like, run, go to second base. Go to second base. And they're throwing the ball all over the field. She's running. She gets to second base. And she obviously has a home run. She's running around second base. And the coaches are saying, go home, go home. And she stops and she looks. And she runs right back to me and her mom in the stands. I'm going home. So that's Paige. Very concrete, very literal, very matter of fact. Always a planner, plans everything. She gets off into college, and she's in, I guess, her second year of college. She's been working little jobs, tsunamis, whatever. I just kind of sidetrack. She's working at tsunamis. She just says, hey, I met, no, wait, we're not going to get that. Anyway, they had tsunamis.
Classic.
So she comes home and she's like, yeah, you know, they got all these movie stars and stuff that come in. She's like, I met the cast of Twilight. I'm like, really? You met the cast of Twilight? She said, yeah, they came in, they were ordering, and they had this whole thing, and they're like, well, did you get any, did you get any autographs? Did you take any pictures? She's like, no, I was working. She's like, they didn't tip worth the hell anyway. You know, I'm like, she was so unimpressed by who they were and what their status was. I mean, that's just the kind of person she was. They were just people. So she was unimpressed by them. So going on in her college years, she calls me one day and she says, Dad, found the perfect job. She was working in accounting. Yeah, what you got? She said, it's his job, it's going to pay $12 an hour, it's an accounting intern, whatever it was. I said, okay, it's some kind of stone, what was the first job? The stone?
It was an aluminum company.
Aluminum company, some kind of metals company in Baton Rouge. They have this apprenticeship, they have this intern, you got to apply through the LSU placement, whatever. I said, okay, perfect job for me, I want this job. So all right, we'll go get it. So she gets online through LSU, does all their applicant stuff through LSU, and all right, I did it, I applied for it. She calls me back, talked to her a week or two later, I said, hey, what's going on with that job? She said, well, I don't know. She said, I applied through the program, and I got this email back, and they told me that thank you for your application, and that I wasn't qualified, I didn't fit, whatever.
That's not the story at all.
Let me tell a story. Let me tell a story my way. Anyway, so whatever it was.
They never not wanted.
Whatever it was, she didn't get the job. Whatever it was, she didn't get the job.
No,
No,
that's
I
not
got the job
it.
immediately.
LSU did not think that her resume was quite qualified enough, so she
Let
submitted
me-
it herself.
They're not gonna let me finish my story. As I said, she was applying through the LSU placement program, is exactly what I said. They responded that her resume wasn't good enough or whatever, so she wasn't gonna be accepted for this job. So she called me, she was upset because the computer program told her she wasn't gonna get a job. My response was, okay, do you really want this job? Or are you going to let a computer program tell you you're not good enough? And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I don't know. You want a job? We'll get the job. You're not going to let this computer program or this placement tell you you're not good enough. Figure it out. So she got online. She found the company, found the website, found the CEO, emailed the CEO directly, sent him an email, this is who I am, this is what I did. LSU's placement thing said I wasn't good enough. I really want an opportunity to get out.